Welcome to the Cumbria Chamber of Commerce podcast, your weekly update of business news and issues from around Cumbria. Find out how we support new business and help existing businesses to grow and flourish at cumbriachamber.co.uk. Now here's the Chamber's Business Engagement Manager, Julian Whittle, with this week's episode.
Hello, I'm here with Rob Johnston, the Chief Executive of Cumbria Chamber of Commerce, to talk about the relaunch of Made in Cumbria. Now, Rob, Made in Cumbria it's been around for a long time, and the Chamber's been running it for the last 10 years. But not everyone is going to be familiar with the initiative. What's the purpose of Made in Cumbria, and what does it do for member businesses?
The main reason for Made in Cumbria coming about is somewhat historic. It was going back a number of years, certainly before we picked it up. It was about helping small food and craft businesses grow and develop and find a route to market. And it did that through a number of, channels that were relevant then, Julian, farmers markets, through a number of sort of concessions in retail outlets, and that sort of thing. And what we've done with Made in Cumbria, since it was taken over by the Chamber, is we've created, a wrapper brand. Mm-hmm. And that, the idea of that is that it's a brand that a lot of the smaller businesses can come under, and it can provide them with a level of support, whether it's business support or whether it's an opportunity to market through the Made in Cumbria and get through those Made in Cumbria retail opportunities. What's significantly changed is the environment that brand's now having to operate in, and hence the relaunch.
Yeah, I mean, because it's always struck me that we've got some really outstanding food and craft businesses, but some, because they're often small businesses, they can struggle, can't they, to make their voice heard. So Made in Cumbria gives them a sort of outward-facing brand, an umbrella, if you like, that they can sit under.
That's correct, and for a number of years, it's worked quite successfully. I mean, we've got over 11,000 followers online with Made in Cumbria, and that's growing. And I guess what we've done here is we've reviewed the whole of what Made in Cumbria is about, really, and said, where can we add the best value? Where can we stay true to that original objective, which was to help as many businesses as we can find new markets and new opportunities?
So what are the criteria for membership? Who's eligible to join?
Well, the idea is it does what it says on the tin. It is Made in Cumbria. Yeah. This isn't a brand where just because it's sold in Cumbria that they can carry Made in Cumbria. We're actually quite tough on the criteria. So it has to be wholly produced or substantially manufactured and finished in Cumbria to be something that we would take forward as a Made in Cumbria product.
Okay, well, let's talk a bit more now about the relaunch. I mean, central to this is the new website, madeincumbria.co.uk. Tell me what we've done with this.
Well, I guess what we're doing is a number of things, really. One is that we're giving more oomph to the Made in Cumbria brand. So there's the activities around the website, which are around opening up other channels, getting the right connections to the social media channels, and creating a sort of central totem that the members can get round, but also something that we can promote through the various channels and various opportunities as Made in Cumbria with a sort of landing environment, which we wanted to feel that you experienced a little bit of the Lake District and Cumbria's coastal look and feel. So there's a lot of imagery in there that's generic to the whole of the membership that anchors really the whole essence of what Made in Cumbria is about. It's something that's come from the land, it's come from the environment, it's come from what is Cumbria. It comes through in the products of the members, and that was the look and the feel we wanted for the site.
I mean, I could echo that. I'd encourage people to take a look because the photography is absolutely stunning. But the purpose is actually to drive traffic to the members' own websites, isn't it?
That's exactly right. I mean, there's two purposes really. One is the main driver is to get the Made in Cumbria brand out there and have that brand that can be pushed out internationally around the world, because that's one of the exciting things that we can do now when we know we've got that sort of traction around the world with the existing activity. But yes, you're absolutely right. What we're aiming to do is to get the traffic through to the individual members' websites so that they can get the profile and they can then fulfill them. And that we think is really important. And we're doing that through a number of techniques, as we mentioned earlier, some social media techniques.
Yeah. But when you go on the website, I mean, there are, if you like, individual stories on the member businesses which whet your appetite. Excuse the pun, because a lot of them are food producers, and it makes you actually want to go onto their website and have a look. Now, you mentioned just there social media. We're planning a big push on social media to promote the new site. Explain exactly what's going on.
Well, that's right. And what we're looking at, I mean, one of the great things about Made in Cumbria and the members that are coming with us on this journey is that they are buying into the fact that they're using social media and online as part of their majority of their marketing offer. And as a result of doing that, they're creating some fantastic images. So we're bringing in Instagram, for example, and we'll look at other channels allowed to do that. We'll be bringing on board some video-based channels where we can actually see some demonstrations of products being developed. The whole idea really is to just be able to immerse yourself in what Made in Cumbria is about. Get the cross-selling opportunities. Find a product that you feel that you want to find more about. Look at that member's offer and ideally buy from that, and they can fulfil it.
I mean, it's worth making the point that Made in Cumbria is already well established on I think there's 11,000 active followers on Facebook and Twitter, and we're now adding Instagram because of the strong visual appeal of many members' products. Now the website complements the shop, the Made in Cumbria shop in Branthwaite Brow in Kendal, and there've been major changes here too, haven't there, Rob?
Well, one of the things we're trying to do is, to a degree, put a bit of our money where our mouth is, Julian, with thinking about really what Made in Cumbria's physical manifestation is, and as a result of that, because we're not here really to displace other businesses that are selling Made in Cumbria members' products. What we're trying to do is to say, well, okay, what can we do that will allow us to showcase the members' products and create a platform, a little stage for them. So, yes, the shop, we've got rid of the TIC. That was a bit of a distractor for us.
The Tourist Information Centre.
And we're focusing on activity around members. So the idea going through this summer and I guess continue going forward is to offer members the opportunity to work with us, to use that as a space where they can come and talk to prospective customers. And again, we're aiming to do sort of videos out there.
Live streaming on Facebook. Because I think we've all the first week to promote the relaunch, we've been hosting product demos and tastings in the shop. So it's really, rather than being purely a retail, I mean, it is a retail outlet because you can buy members' products in there, but more than that, it's now a destination, isn't it, where customers can meet producers, try or taste their products, and obviously buy them. So it's a step change, really.
And there's a cross-selling opportunity, Julian. I mean, and this is the interesting thing, is that what we're finding when we talk to people who are buying the products of the Made in Cumbria members is that they like that individual product, but they're also really keen to understand about what else is available, and a lot of what we're trying to do with our hampers is really to mix up some of the produce so that you've got some craft product in there as you've got some food product. And we think that's really a very important role of the shop, is to be able to see some of the tactile craft product in there.
Well, you just mentioned the hampers, because that was actually going to be my next question, Rob, because that's another route to market for member businesses, the Made in Cumbria hampers. Tell me a bit more about these.
Right. First of all, it's probably worth at this point mentioning that we're not selling hampers because we want to make money out of selling hampers. The hamper angle is actually a strategy in its own right. What we feel we can achieve with the hampers, and we've been selling them for some time. We've been testing these. If we can get those hampers into hotels and accommodation where people who love the Lake District are staying in, they can take those away, particularly if it's a freebie from the hotel or accommodation they're staying in. That gives people an opportunity who like being here, obviously, to sample the product. And now either they'll come back to us and say, could I have one of these hampers, which is fine because we can sell a hamper. But really, that's not the main reason for getting the hampers out there. It's yet again getting the members' product in front of as many people as possible, and hopefully Hopefully they'll look at the label and they'll go directly to the member and buy from them through their fulfilment.
That's right, because if you like a particular product, you'll go and order more of it. Yeah.
But it is important that it isn't just about selling hampers. Now, we want to sell hampers because we've got, we're selling, many hundreds of hampers a year as personal gifts, and that will continue, and that will provide part of the support for the reason behind the Kendall base for Made in Cumbria.
Well, personal sales, I would hope, would increase because the new website includes an e-commerce facility, doesn't it? So people can actually order hampers online, which they haven't been able to do previously.
Yeah.
And there are plans to take the Made in Cumbria brand on the road. Are we looking maybe events and that sort of thing?
That's right. I think what we're, by refocusing around this, the work we're doing in the shop, if that proves successful, and we've every reason to think it is going to, then we're going to re-establish, because we stopped doing the markets, the Made in Cumbria markets, about a year or so ago, because the demand was falling off. We couldn't get the critical numbers there, and to be perfectly frank, it wasn't working in the right place with the right profile. So what we're going to do over the next year or so is look at opportunities where Made in Cumbria Roadshow can go out there, it can join events as Made in Cumbria, and we'll be pulling back members and offering the opportunity to join us on that. And where they aren't there, we'll look at whether Made in Cumbria goes in its own right as a brand. So we want to add value to the experience in Cumbria, Jude, and we want to get as many people to experience and touch and feel and taste the products as possible.
I mean, although obviously the primary purpose of Made in Cumbria is to offer the member businesses a route to market, another benefit is that they can access the business support that's available through the Chamber's Cumbria Business Growth Hub, can't they?
Yeah, and that's actually a lot of Made in Cumbria members who've been with us for many years will say, well, we used to in the early days do very specific targeted support around, say, food labelling and things. Which is of less interest, I guess, to the consumers we're trying to sell to. But actually, a lot of that, and nearly all of that, and in fact, a much better offer is now delivered through the Growth Hub anyway. So we're disconnecting that because it was getting a little bit confusing. There's certainly I would argue, a much greater offer than we've ever had before from the Made in Cumbria members through the Growth Hub. And in most cases, it's free and it's very targeted at working to support them. And that isn't just about things like food labelling, it's about online marketing, how they can set up their own campaigns, how they can better those campaigns and get more impact from them, and of course hopefully tie into the activity that Made in Cumbria is doing so that we get much more activity out there.
I mean, another recent example that springs to mind is the Supply Chain Opportunity Club, who ran an event with booths. So that that's getting Cumbrian producers to get their products into
and we'll continue to do that, Julian. I think that's that goes without saying. That's what we will do. But that Supply Chain Opportunities Club is moving forward at a pace. I'm talking to a couple of quite significant resellers of Made in Potential, should I call them, and some of them trade resellers around Made in Cumbria. And the nice thing about that is, like the booths one, because we've got the business support mechanism and funding to support that, we can look at individual challenges the businesses have got that are finding to get into those supply chains and give them exactly the support they need at exactly the time they need it. And I think that's one of the things that's really exciting about bringing the whole thing together and then pushing the Made in Cumbria back out, because it gives us a good reason to sit down with the likes of Booths and some of the other supermarkets, some of the other wholesalers, and say, look, can we talk about a route to market for our members? And
it's worth making the point, isn't it, that Made in Cumbria isn't actually a commercial initiative for the Chamber. We're not looking to make money out of it, are we?
Well, it's an interesting one, this, actually, because that's exactly right. I mean, one of the things we don't want to do is displace any members. So, we could open more Made in Cumbria shops, but actually, if you go into the Lake District, there's a number of very good retail outlets across the lake, so we're selling those. So why would we want to do that? We don't want to take somebody's commercial opportunity. But there is an important point, is that we are not a business or a group of businesses who are trying to push ourselves forward. We are, owned by the business community, and we do this for the benefit of all the members. So, and we're not seeking to make any money out of it. As long as we can cover the costs of this, then we will do it. And indeed, actually, because the Chamber is not without resource, the Chamber is investing a very significant amount of money in this initiative that it's not really looking for a return on. The return on that investment is that our members stay with us, and they get more business out of it. So, the Chamber actually is not looking to make a profit. It's actually significant, many thousands into this project to make it a reality and bring it back alive again. So it's quite a commitment.
So if a food and drink or craft business is interested in joining Made in Cumbria, and frankly, I don't see why they wouldn't be, how do they go about it? How do they get in touch?
Well, first of all, at the moment, this is all free.
Yeah.
It may not be forever, but at the moment it is, because the Chamber's decided that the Chamber Board of Directors and ourselves, the executive, decide we really want to make this work. The best thing to do is to contact either the shop in Kendal, Debbie, that runs the shop there, or ideally through Michelle, the marketing manager for Made in Cumbria, who's based in the Carlisle office. And she'd be delighted to help any business that fits the criteria and has a quality product to get involved in the scheme. And I'd encourage anybody to come along and join it. We think it's great. We think the more of us that come together and do this, the better. The more cross-selling opportunities we're going to get, and the more we can get Cumbria out there into the world, and we can enjoy the benefits.
Yeah, so if any business wants to get in touch with Michelle, her email address is michelle@cumbriachamber.co.uk, or you can it's Michelle Wiggins. If you give her a call, it's 0845 226 0040. That's great. Thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Ian.
Thank you for listening to the Cumbria Chamber of Commerce podcast. You can find out more about how we're supporting Cumbrian businesses at cumbriachamber.co.uk and cumbriagrowthhub.co.uk. In the meantime, thank you very much for listening, and we'll have another episode for you next week.